Hello, I'd like to give you an overview of the individual treatment project that we are going to be doing together. Now, this is the real heartbeat of our course because this is an opportunity for you to apply the concepts, theories, vocabulary that we are learning in the class to yourself. So the very first thing I need you to do is to choose a target behavior, something that you would like to change, a behavior that you would like to change in your own life. So you have to think to yourself, what do I want to change that's a behavior? So this is not a thought or an idea or an emotion. No, this is a behavior, something that can be measured. So you may say to yourself, I would like to change the amount of times that I curse, which is one that a student has brought up in the past. Other ones would be a student says, I would like to reduce the amount of caffeine that I ingest. Right? Two behavioral changes that are decreasing a behavior, cursing and caffeine. Others have said, I'd like to exercise more or eat healthier, which is a behavioral change where we're increasing something. But notice that these behaviors are something that we can measure. So we have to be able to provide an operational definition. This means that we can write out exactly what we mean when this behavior occurs so that someone else can come in, pick up our definition, and say, yes, this occurred, or no, it did not occur. So let me give you an example of exercise. So a student may say, I want to exercise more. That's fantastic. What do you mean by exercise? How do you define exercise? Does it mean that I'm going to run my hardest for 5 minutes? Does it mean I'm going to go lift weights and have a regimen where I say I'm going to bench press this amount of weight for this amount of repetitions? Does it mean that you're going to do yoga? Does it mean that you're going to do calisthenics? What does it actually mean? So we're looking for things that can define it for us so it's measurable. Okay, so that's the first thing you're going to do. And you're going to send me that particular behavior and how you operationally define it by the Sunday of the first week. That's going to be on the 30th, June 30th. So we're looking at how we're going to be increasing a behavior, decreasing a particular behavior, and it's got to be measurable. And it's important to note that we want to define in our individual treatment project what success is. You'll see that as point number 3. Because this is a common issue that we have with clients, is that our expectations and definitions of success are different between ourselves, the therapist, and our client. And that can lead to a lot of frustration. I'm a former alcohol and drug therapist, and you could imagine my definition of success for an alcohol and drug program may be different than my client's definition of success for their program as well. My client may see success for me, says the client, is a reduction in my alcohol use. My definition for success is complete abstinence, 0 alcohol use at the end of treatment. Well, again, you can imagine that measuring success, defining success is very important for understanding how we're going to accomplish treatment. Now, another part of your individual treatment project is some research. I want you to go out and research the behavior, research how you're going to change the behavior, whether it be through reinforcement, whether it be through punishment, whether it be through differential reinforcement, whether it be through extinction, whatever method that you're particularly using. I want you to be able to research, again, either the behavior or the treatment itself using credible peer-reviewed journals. I need you to complete a weekly behavioral episode sheet, which I'll define for you in another video, as well as a weekly journal, which again, I'll define for you and discuss in a different video. You're going to talk to me whether or not your treatment worked, why it did, why it didn't. So if remember, we've defined success. Did we make our goal? Do we know why? For example, things were not successful. I'll give you an example of a student that said her definition of success is to have 3 episodes of exercise per week. And no, her treatment did not work. The reinforcement that she chose to help increase her behavior was not powerful enough. She chose a candy bar. So she would exercise and then reward herself with reinforcement of a candy bar. And it wasn't powerful enough to overcome The temptation of sleeping in, the temptation of not doing the work, the temptation of other things being prioritized in her life. So she wrote about that. Another part of writing that I want you to do for the individual treatment project is number 8, to discuss how you can use what you've learned in this project to empathize with your clients. How can we better understand what our clients are going through because we have implemented our own treatment program? Okay? We're going to make sure that we have a graph of our daily recordings. Right? We want to record our data daily. We're going to have 5 weeks, a week of baseline, 3 weeks of treatment, and 1 week of follow-up. And you need to have recordings every single day of those 5 weeks. And then I'm going to show you how to graph that data. And again, I'll give you a video on that. So that's the general overview of the individual treatment project. I do need you to look over the instructions and the rubric. And we'll be talking about this throughout the weeks to have you on track. But this is a general overview. And the main thing I want you to know is you need to have that operational definition of that target behavior to me by Sunday the 30th.